Hello, hello. I am back from the break. YouTube viewers, welcome to video 12, I think, of the tiny trains in Factorio. I'm having fun. There are tiny trains zipping around all over the place today, which is awesome. We've just been setting up a bit of smelting, getting iron plate and stone brick already done, and you know, we can copy paste this around for the time being until we upgrade some stuff. So we just need to get copper done as well, and we'll have processed everything that we've got plugged in. Good start. We need to expand the grid a bit to get up to where the copper is to do that. We've just been sorting out the depots that, you know, should be in place around what we're doing, so all good so far. Happy with how we're growing. We're just going to populate this depot with some trains. We're going to take a quick look at some of the balancers because they're not doing what I want, and it might be a waste of time because I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I'm going to wander over and have a look anyway, poke around a bit, and then we'll start building more of the grid heading northward, fill in the missing squares and get the copper smelting up and running. That's the general plan for the next couple of hours. Finish off the session today. We'll see how far we get. I put the trains in the car, didn't I? So let's get them out. Should just be parked up here. There they are. Careful of any passing tiny trains as they are around it. So these ones, give them cargo wagons. And then fluid wagons for them ones. Tell them what to do. So this is MQ North Depot. Good, they're all in, switched on. Do the ones in the south as well. Where are you? Wagons, there we are. You are MQ48 South Depot. For some reason there's no power down here. Okay. What have I done wrong? Oh, I've accidentally cut the wire. For whatever reason. There we go, fix that. Fuel them up. So what I would expect is when the iron needs moving between the iron ore here and the smelting directly above it, this depot is used because it's closest. When the stone needs doing, this depot is used, and when the copper needs doing, this one, and also the coal for the power or for the fuel would probably be these trains. Though that would be interesting. It could be the fastest route is a train in the depot gets the coal for its depot. That could be the fastest route, probably is. You know, we'll see what LTN does. It apparently knows best. It probably knows better than me, to be fair. Either way, that is one more populated depot. Lots of tiny trains are alive now. Need to get them more jobs to do, really. So where have we got... Well, here, for example... Here is a balancer that is not doing what I want it to. I don't think. It's hard to tell now that the chests are full. But it seemed to be filling the bottom more than the top. As in... I'm not sure it was so much of... like half was going in this and the other half there. So you've got... It was just them splitters. and we led into them, and you pulled 3 away. Even so, if you had one belt coming in, half goes left, half goes right. In this case, half goes left. No. Everything goes left. And then here, half goes left, half goes right. So you'd end up with 25%, 25%, and 50%. It didn't seem like that much was going that way, but maybe it is, you know, the equivalent. If you feed one in, and you take this and you loop it into the other entrance, and you feed a belt in, half goes left, half goes right. In this case, half goes left and half goes right. Here, half goes left and half goes right, comes back around, half of that goes left and half of that goes right, and so on. So in this case, the 3 outputs will all be even, so you wouldn't get twice as much on the right-hand belt as you would on the other 2. You'd get a third across all of them. Well, not exactly a third, because some of it just keeps looping around over and over again, depending on how it backs up and fills in it and whatever. That's the reason why you loop back around, when your number of inputs is less than how the splitters are outputting it, I guess. So that's why, where we have, I don't know how the splitters are exactly, but where we have 3 coming in, we should loop the 4th one back around and in again, because it stops this right-hand one from backing up and shoving too much here. We could, I mean, it's like a what if you put a splitter there, what happens? Half of what's gone that way is then shoved there, but half of what's there is shoved there, so you'd get 25% on the left, and 37.5% between them two. So it's like, kind of, but not quite. If you put even more splitters in, it makes even more of a mess. The issue we have is, here we've got 2 in and 3 out. Yeah. So if you ignore all of this that comes before it, you've got 2 in. Half of this goes left and half of it goes right, so you get a full belt. If these 2 belts are full, you get a full belt going each way. And if they're not, you get an equal balance of each going each way. This is then split in half. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. Not necessarily the problem, but a way of solving this issue is we just need to grab the output here and feed it back in. And it prevents this splitter from sending all that it's getting in one direction. The rest goes back around and is refiltered, as long as it can split into every possible line. Or it does go through enough splitters to do that, which it would, because that's how this input's designed. I think that is how you do it, and that is the purpose of feeding it back round, is to split it between the lines better. And therefore we should have that in place everywhere. It really is beyond my expertise or knowledge at all, really, but I think that's the answer to the situation that we're currently in. Where else do I need to do that? Everywhere that we're feeding output to the belt, the trains. The unloading is fine, I think. Might have to just check every balancer we've built. It's irrelevant here, they're just squishing down, and yeah, it's irrelevant there until we upgrade the belt. Down here it's relevant. Here's a different problem. We don't have a spare input. So it does matter though. How do we work it out? 25 to a belt? Hell mod. Do we even have that number somewhere? I mean, it's 156 over 6.24, I guess. Which is, yeah, down here in our history, 25 to a belt. And there's 60 there, so there are only 3 belts coming out, and we should get them down to 3 before we try and balance them. So there is 21 on a belt. There is 14, 15 right. There's 39 there, so we can turn them 3 into 2, but not easily. We just want to feed... Right, feed that in. Feed that in. But maintain that, and then don't. So that's being pushed in. These guys could help by prioritizing left. And 2 belts come out of it. That should work. And I'm just gonna fill my inventory with iron ore. Leave that down there instead. Take away that belt. It's a lot of iron ore that I don't want. And then I get a spare input there that I can feed back in. So there would be a problem if we had 4 full belts feeding into one of these. All we need to do is reduce it before we get there and feed the output back round and force it. Because the station can only handle 3 belts, so there's no point in trying to force 4 into it. Just squish it down before then. Which isn't the case here. We just had 4 incomplete belts and we're trying to balance them through a balancer that couldn't do it. I can just throw this iron ore into these chests and it'll work its way out. Try and do that evenly though. Okay. So there's that one fixed, those ones fixed. Moving on to the next square. Which is the same kind of smelting setup, so they'll be simple ones. Feed that back around and in. The unloading is fine. That one back round, so that's that bit done. Got one down there, but it's already feeding back round. So as far as I'm concerned, that's fine, and I should see... Yeah, and you do. These chests are much better balanced. There's no... Like, it's not stacking more on the left-hand side, which is what we were seeing elsewhere. They're all within 5 units of each other. That is a good sign. Suggests I'm onto something. Hopefully. Are there any other things like that? Yeah. We'll be heading up there to build next anyway, so let's move the car up to where we're building. Put the copper smelting into place and fix the balancers while we're up there, if any are broken. Might not be. Well, not. It's not like they're broken, they're just not doing exactly what I wanted them to. We can do better. Strip these out on the way past. Set the robots in the process. There we go. Where did I park? Down here. Good. Anything I can throw in here? Let's tidy that up a bit. That's better. I want to build around here-ish. I mean, let me park that side for now. Up a little bit, out of the way of any poles. There we go. And let's check. I can check by map, can't I? Balancers. This one's good in the middle where it's splitting them out, and then they've got loops around, so they're all good. That's looping around, that's good. Yeah, okay, we're all good up here. Perfect. Perfect. clear these trees out. We're going to be putting a new square in here. Let's mark some more trees for removal. Always trees in the way. And go back to regular old grid, not a depot. There we are. That one in there. Yeah, change the roboports, no point in them for now. Good. Do the usual, walk around the top first and around the outside first, get everything built in. And then we'll fill the gap between here and the south and, you know, just build in empty squares, doing nothing at the moment. They will be used for production of various things, I'm sure. I don't know, actually. I mean, next to where we smelt the copper, we can make things that only need copper, and then, you know, intermediates like copper cable. Around the iron, we can do sticks and wheels. We just... An entire square making gear wheels is going to need more iron than we're currently smelting, so it's kind of irrelevant where we do it and stuff. We need to get more iron ore, we need to get more iron smelting, and that as a bigger priority. Well, not priority, but as a thing. The order we do stuff's kind of irrelevant. It's going to be a while before anything's, you know, up and running, regardless of how we approach it. And, you know, unless we beeline just making something, we could set up the gear wheel production now and then make belt, you know, yellow belt. Could do it, but not much point really. The starter base is doing that already. Better to get the scale up and then start doing stuff at the right scales. Move bits from the starter base when we can do them properly, I think. And I think that means doing petrochemicals next, you know. Which is going to need a bunch of squares, actually. We can get this oil, it's right here, we're right next to it, so we'll get that. But then we need a refining one, and then we need a... something to deal with the imbalance of the production as well. Might end up being just giant storage square to make sure we don't backlog on any specific liquid. And I can go to the giant storage square and dump the entire lot into the void with a click. Be the answer. That might work. You know, then we need sulfur production, plastic production. Set those up. Need to make little fuel cubes and replace the coal supply to the power generation and the rocket and the trains with that. Set up sulfuric acid production en masse. All sorts of different. You know, I'd call all them resources. I don't know what you really call them here. They're in here with the intermediates, but they're a bit more basic than that. Now, these are the intermediates, so I'd say the cable, the sticks, the circuits, engines, that kind of stuff. That's what I think of when I say intermediate. Radar's found anything, just thinking about that. We've uncovered more of that uranium patch, and the other patches down here, they're a bit of an issue because of where the depots line up. There's a big depot there, and there, and there. It's okay. We do miss out on that oil regardless, really. We get some of that iron, not bad. Get a good amount of coal from down here, not that we need it for much. Plastic, I guess. Another coal up there. I kind of feel like this is where we ought to be heading towards. We can get a lot of that iron. That's probably worth pushing towards. building east and north, you know, in a general direction as we grow. Short on anything? Yeah, I am already. Short on train stops. That's fine. We'll drive up and resupply soon. It makes sense anyway. Need to go make our 96. I've changed the number here. Oh. Yeah, 96 electric furnaces need to be made. Got the outside loop done. Missed a bit of the rail in the north there. Never mind, we'll get around. Head around the inside and make sure to fill that in. Oh, let's what have we got here? So that's MO49. South? No, MO49 north. And this one is MO50 south. There we go. And then what's that? MP50 west. And that one MO51 south. We're not going to build the rest yet until I go get some more stations. Have I missed anything? Seems weird that we're not burning much power. Maybe we've finished smelting what we can fit in those chests. We have, okay. So we're not actually smelting anything, so we're not consuming much power at all at the moment, which is good. Need things to flow a bit before we can see if we've made enough, which I know for certain we haven't. That much smelting and the amount of ore we're digging up would go a long way if we just used it all directly, but if we ask to make an entire square's worth of gear wheels, we won't be able to. Which I guess isn't much of an issue if you give it time to build in its buffers as well at each point, then eventually it'll flow at the rate we're consuming it. But yeah, like a square's worth of red science production is it's going to use a lot. Might be interesting to see actually, like how many assembly machines can we fit in a square. It's probably more than we should if we dedicate an entire square to any given science pack. Oh well, that'll make it interesting at least. Just missing the train station, that's known. Everything else we're good on. For this square, yeah, but not for the next one. Put in the power poles in the middle, get the rest of the trees out the way. Which I should just stamp in the whole thing, because we're probably missing some other stuff. Bits and pieces. So let me just grab one. Let me do what we did before. Just create a temporary blueprint of the whole thing. then remove the station. If I can find the right bit. And I want to remove the north-south combinators, so we don't deliver iron ore here. It's for copper. That should be good. Maybe. Or we've been missing a bit of green wire between that pole and the station. Everything else this side is fine, and then the north-south combinators we need to put in, obviously. No, good on everything. Just robots are a bit slow, no big deal. Be patient with them. We need more long-handled inserters as well. That's fine. Just remember to grab what we need to make some, or a couple hundred. Then do the inserters we can. Oh, and the power poles, sure. Everything looks like it. Furnaces and long-handled inserters are needed. Yeah, down here we need constant combinator, a little bit of green wire, and then whatever the numbers, 2,000 and then 8,000, right. 2,000 threshold, 8,000 copper ore wanted. Ooh, some more steel chests. Can make a couple, but not many. It's enough for that station at least. That one's good. And then I've got 5, so I won't be able to make the northern one. So we'll need a bit more steel when we go back as well. Or steel chests, actually. We were making them, weren't we? Keep forgetting that. They're in a box somewhere. There's the trains being tasked with this. Nice. Don't have far to go. So we're actually mining up 6 full belts of copper ore and consuming 4. So the rate here is in good favour. We're making more than we're using. Things ought to flow well, proper. Let's see how it goes. He's queuing the other side of the roundabout, which isn't great. Interesting, actually. That guy's going to go up and around. That's cool, though. They find it a good route for it all, and queue up all over the place. Shouldn't really get in the way too much. We are asking this depot to do a bit more than everyone else, but there's plenty of trains there, I think, at the moment. We're missing belt. Okay. We also need some belt. Ooh. Oh, and the train station's not there, so I can't put the wire in that's missing. It's about time to go get what we're missing. Can put the white inserters in here. Can chop that tree down. Put in more of the power poles, sure. I don't need a temporary blueprint for that anymore. Might as well build all we can. Opens up a bit of inventory space for the rest, I guess. Can't unload properly, I don't want to set that up. Oh, there's no station there anyway, we can't set that one up. No big deal then. Just a few power poles. A few more inserters, okay. And then, yeah, I think we need to go get what we're missing. Where did I park? Up in the north. Can I remember? Steel chest, belt, train station, furnace. Probably can't remember, but let's do one trip at least, and then we'll see what I've forgotten. Belt is here. Let's grab that. That'll be enough for a while. At least for what we're doing now. Advanced circuits. How much do I need if I want roughly 100? I need roughly 500. That'll do. Then rail I don't need. Stations I do, but just one stack at the moment. Signals I don't need. Power poles I don't need. Locomotives and wagons, nope. Combinators, water fill, pumps and what have you. White inserters we're good. Steel chests. A stack of them. While we're here, undergrounds and splitters, don't particularly need them, but we'll fill in. Okay, so I need to handcraft a bunch of red inserters, don't really know how many. Roughly 80. Can't do at the moment. Iron, and if I go get some yellow ones, that saves a bit of time, doesn't it? I need all this stuff anyway. Just scoop a bunch. We'll probably need to go to the smelting and get the steel and bricks to make more furnaces. I think that's best. Here I can get some yellows. That'll do. Just bring it down to making the number of reds for the number of yellows I had. Might be enough. Should be enough. We can take some spare stuff in case I need to make a handful more. Let's grab these. So if I'm making, I want roughly 1,000 steel. That's rough enough. Roughly 1,000 bricks, which I could get from within the grid. Which is a good point, actually. We're not making any steel. That's just something to bear in mind. I lost count there. How many have I made? I've made 2, so I need another 96. Which I think I'm now making the right amount. But let's have some spare everything. Tiny bit more steel. And some more copper. Actually, I might just grab that off the belt here. Just to grab some. That'll do. I think we've grabbed everything. And crafted what we need. Let's head down and find out if we did. And yeah, steel is a thing we should do, but we're going to need more. We're already trying to smelt more iron than we have ore for, so we need to connect another iron supply before we can do steel anyway. Which we will do at some point as we expand out. We could just intentionally come down to get a little bit of... Not that one. That one. The starter one. There's no good ones. Probably gonna have to make it all the way to this one in the east before we can do anything. Which, like, fine, okay. But petrochemicals between here and there, so we might end up doing all of the chemical stuff before we do steel. Could happen. So this is requested with a threshold of 2,000. Wanting to store 8,000 copper ore. It's all plugged in and fine, I think. Good. Except the name is wrong. That's why it keeps saying lemming at me. MO50 North. Wondering where that name had come from. Here comes the copper. Quicker than we can build. Not really surprising. Anything missing from that lot? No. That's good. Let's finish this station we're next to. Which is MO50 East. Seems good. Seems done. Cool. Do we seem to get down here the same amount? Yeah. We seem to, roughly. These chests loading roughly the same amounts, yeah. The other side currently has less just because the belt is longer to get there. But it'll catch up. I mean, though, that is kind of interesting. It does make a discrepancy between the top and the bottom on the right-hand side, because the bottom has a much shorter journey to take. Interesting. But looking good. The other half needs building in. Missing furnaces and long-handled inserters. Done. No little pink dots to say I missed something. No, just the broken part of my monitor. Looks good. Okay. There's one of the things I wanted to do today done. We are smelting up the 3 things that we're already mining. Iron plate, stone brick and copper plate. Excellent. But I definitely do want to fill in the gaps we've made between everything now. I mean, this one below us is a almost finished kind of square. Let's get that one. Is there any trees? No. Curved rail is in the way. Right, because it's on the corner with a depot, so we need to cancel that one. I mean, every square touches a depot, so we might want to change our blueprints based around that, given that the overlap is so annoying. We could build out the 3x3 blocks we've made and then create a blueprint that is the whole 3x3 block with the depot in the middle and just build them as sets of 9. It's more of a commitment every time we lay one down, but I want to build them all in anyway, even if some of them are left empty to create the routes that trains can take around. It's an idea. Might do it. But for now we need to, fill in the gaps. Which is going to take stuff I've not got on me probably. But we'll start, and see how far we get. Might be able to do this really, really short one. The 3 sides are already built. So power's going to be up because we are smelting now, yeah. Though, don't know. It's only 19 megawatts, it's not much. Peaked a bit before, I guess. And we are using the power-hungry inserters when we really don't need to. But, oh well. We'll live. When we do get fuel cubes, must remember that I don't want to take away the coal-fired power station. I want to diversify the power as much as possible. I want to make a second power station that's fueled by the cubes. So if something goes wrong with cube production and we still have coal, at least we get some power. I think that is something that tripped me up in like the space exploration build I was doing, was ripping out the old stuff was a bad idea. Keep the old stuff and build the new stuff alongside it rather than instead of it. At least then some things keep ticking along. What is this then? MP49 West. And this one? MO49 East. But I have run out of rail before we finished it. Oh well. Let's build in what we can and then we'll go on another resupply run for rail and signals, I guess. Lots of rail and signals. What is copper ore doing? Yeah, they're kind of like sitting full, which is great, actually. The throughput is flowing completely here, and it's not like here, lots of trains or whatever. 2 stations is nice as well, which will go away as we upgrade to Blue Belt, and everything can feed into a single station. Kind of spreading it out is nice, but just do more mining points, I guess, is what we'll have, hopefully. And the longer journeys won't matter because the rocket fuel is going to make the trains fly around. We can do these poles, so let's How far are we building here? We are doing the one I'm stood in because it's around that depot. Okay. So on the way back to the car, just going to clear out these trees. These odd ones up here as well, might as well. Although I don't think we are building this square, but we will eventually. If not today, then soon. This lot is in the way. Why don't we do that while we're here? Good, there's that dealt with. Let's throw the wood in here. It's a lot of wood. Maybe we will just destroy a bunch of it, but I don't know. I'd like to find somewhere to throw it that's vaguely useful. Doesn't really matter. It is an infinite resource. Right. Don't have a lot of space in my inventory, do I? I guess we're not, until we build another depot, we're not using belt or inserters. And the raw materials can go live in here for a bit. Whatever other odd bits and pieces I've picked up. Although some more radars would be good. Just make what I can of them. And cancel a few to get some resource back. Odd machines. Not needed until we're doing some odd building. More resources shouldn't need... Ah, we're full. Okay. Keep that out then. That's fine. That's some space. What do we need? As much rail as possible. Over here. I'll make a few squares. Quite a few stations really if we want to make a few squares. Just get that many. And yeah, tons of signals. Slightly more chain than regular. There we go, full inventory. Don't think we need anything else right now. Oh, power poles. Yeah, we do. But we can't fit them, so something would have to go back. We'll build what we can and then we'll come back for more power poles. Fill in the gap and then keep building. Bit by bit. Braked a bit late for that. Kind of want to park out the right hand edge because that's... This square here is not being built yet. And then run around a lot. Exoskeletons would be nice. We have researched exoskeleton. And my robots have been happy with their power supply. So we could make a couple maybe. I'd need to set up that kind of temporary blue chip production and electric engine production again, which I'd rather not bother. Just run around a bit slower until we can manufacture those things within the grid, I guess. Then I can have better armor. That station, no, we did name everything. Yeah, good. They might get renamed as we stick in more squares. That's that one done. Okay. I might just stamp the blueprints in for all of them. All the ones we're going to build, and then we'll just work our way around them slowly. We clear out trees as well. So going to be building up there, almost to the edge of the starter base. Going to be coming out this way, up to there. Then we're going to do this side. Just as much as we can. See, I'll mark out. We're going to do here. Down here. And up this edge as well. Yeah. And that one, sure. It's already a lot of trees. I can't even see all of them. Okay, that one. All the way around that depot. Need to... How did I do this? We don't actually want to do this, so if I mark for destruction and then cancel, yeah, that works. So mark all that and then cancel all that. Maybe. Bunch have appeared here as well. Seems to be safe enough. Just check the map again. Yeah, nothing, no pink dots within the depot. Looks fine, so those are all good, although don't necessarily want the roboports. They might not necessarily move the poles in these ones. We got the one here with the roboports because we had them. We might want them at some point, just not any point soon. Don't know. I did miss some poles in the south, just do them in a second. Who knows, not important. Anyway, want to build in them 3, but then they're just overlapping on this edge. So deconstruct that much and then cancel that. Gets rid of everything that overlapped and shouldn't. Looks good. Seems okay, sure. Good. And then all the way around this depot as well. Sure, it's a lot of building to be done. That's going to have created orders all over the place. Can I just do the whole thing here? And then cancel that. Hopefully that hasn't made too much of a mess anyway. Seems fine from here. What is that? A signal? Sure. Don't know why that would be missing in the first place from when we went round, but okay. Accidentally deconstructed it or something. Who knows? Okay, plan looks okay. I said I missed some poles, but now there's an entire square to build there, so never mind, I guess. Start in the north. Got to start somewhere. That's where the car's parked. I think I will just move the pole and get rid of the roboports, and then... I mean, having them was only really to know that they can line up nicely with the edge of everything if we do want to do a roboport supplied build in any of the squares. Which will happen. Maybe not everywhere, but somewhere it will happen. We won't be building them until we're making them within the grid, so that'll be a while. We'll see. Makes it look like the power grid from the train grid is about to join with the power grid from the starter base, which doesn't really matter, but, you know, shouldn't, I guess. Where are we? We're in MP51. This is the west. Should have started in the south, because then the radars would have started doing something productive rather than scanning squares we can already see. Never mind. I only thought about that because we just built a radar. This is the edge of a square. Do I go into the next one just to work around the outside like normal? Do I finish this square off? I like to finish this square off, I think. Not so sure. Doesn't matter, it's all getting done eventually, but how am I going to not miss anything is the main thing. Need a recharge. Really? They're not doing that. Oh, there they go. Done it. What is this actually? MO51. Cool. It's the rail of that square done. The pole's done. He had escaped getting chopped. There we go. Got him. Let them charge, not annoy them. There we go. Then we'll move up. That's all the poles done. Didn't miss any. No. Let's get the top rail done. Where were we? MO51. North, there we go. It says MO51. All labelled up for now. Something's not right there. It's better. So we'll join up, so that's that rail, like missing a couple of signals here. And that one. So yeah, MO51 is built. Let's move up and do the bottom of MO52, I guess. MO51, yeah. MO52 south. Good. Finish the southern stretch of that. And we'll head up the eastern edge of it. All the way around, maybe. Ooh, 3. Can't have any of those around here. Want to run out of power poles, so we'll have to go back and grab them in a minute. This is MP52 West. There's signals in, get these trees out of the way. I've got some inventory space for getting poles, not a huge amount. Could build in more rail to free up space. Although, if we build in more rail, we'll need to go collect more rail, I guess. Let's build what the robots can reach. Head back and grab what we can of medium electric poles. We're running down to the car, might be quicker to run to the base. We're pretty close to it now. The starter base. Oh well, can move the car this way anyway, bring it closer to us. Where are poles? Just here. $600 should help us for a while. I do use a lot of them though. Yeah, we are going to join the grids, aren't we? Where should I park? Let's just park here by the radar. Rid of these trees in the corner. I'm thinking if the radars uncovered anything more. No. We were aware of all that already. So yeah, we need to get these corner ones built in before we're going to really see anything new. But potentially, they might not even reach far enough. It'd be nice to get some more big patches we can really maximise what we're mining from. The alignment's been pretty awful so far, but you know, maybe if we'd aligned Agrid slightly to the left, things could be slightly different, but I think we'd be losing out either way on something or the other. And we could have spent hours and hours fiddling with where to start. I'm happy enough with where we are. And we're getting big, which is nice. Of the two things I wanted to do today, we're getting them both done, which is brilliant. This is MO52 East. Confuse myself with these power poles at the top, I think, but I guess with this radar down here, the radar in the starter base is kind of irrelevant. It might create a black spot in the middle though if I remove it. My personal radar doesn't reach that far. No, we're good. Okay. There was room. That second radar's closer. Oh no. I'm just blind. There's the black spot. So yeah, there's a bit of the starter base we can't see if we take its radar away. I guess it can keep it for a while longer then. Just a bit, yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Doesn't really matter. I guess it adds some of the power production in, makes our power statistics misleading, perhaps. But I don't think that really matters. I think by the time our power generation beyond the 216 we're making matters, we'll have torn the starter base apart before then. Now this is MO53 South. I think I do want to finish the square we're working on rather than keep going left. Such as it is. Get the roundabout in. Then yeah, head down, across, up, square shape. I can never remember. MO52. Just it's the rail down that side, so yeah, let's get some poles in the middle done. Clear all the debris out as we go. More wood to dump, but the car's full, so I think I will destroy a bunch next time we're next to the car and just clear a load out. Might be a shame, but you know, plenty more wood in the world. And we will set up some greenhouses to create an infinite source of wood at some point. We can kind of do that whenever. We only need it for one thing, but... Oh, actually, we don't need it for that. I hadn't noticed. We're not using the small power poles. We're using the medium ones. So we kind of don't need wood anymore. And I never set up any greenhouses, so might have not needed them at all. Be interesting. Maybe we just won't make any. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to be happy with medium poles everywhere, so seems like it'll be fine. But yeah, let me turn off the robots. Dump the wood in multiple chests. And destroy them all. Should have made some grenades actually, make that quicker. Oh well. It's done. I don't have any of that. Can I... There you go, clean it up with that. All better. Bit more inventory space cleared up. Turn the robots back on. Would be a good idea. I've just removed a signal, haven't I? Must live there. Yeah. Train fits? It does. That's fine then. That is MO52 North. Is that everything? Any pink dots in MO52? No. I think that's good. Let's move west one then. And walk in a square again. Where are we then? That is MN53 south. Yeah, there's an original starting copper mines. Good, kind of, that we managed to build this in without overlapping at all, or too far at least. Didn't realise how close to the space we had kind of started, just like one square away. I want to do the roundabout, and then we'll head south. Wondering why the radar wasn't powered, but just one pole missing in the chain. It's all good. But at the start I wanted to make up for missing Sunday's stream by making good progress today, and we seem to be making good progress today, so happy there. Where are we? MN52 West. There we go. Seems good, can't really tell. Did I win yet? Close to winning? If close means a few 100 hours. It's going well, making good progress for the speed we're capable of building. Any plans for the run? I don't know when I would stop. So I want to just, you know, build as big as we can before the trains aren't big enough. If that happens, I don't know if that, you know, we might just keep going and the trains are always perfectly capable of doing it. I guess if they are, then we just keep building forever. Maybe. But certainly, you know, a bigger number of science per minute. But it's vanilla, so how much can you really do? Or, you know, it's close to vanilla. I think there'll just come a point where we've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen lots of tiny trains zipping around very fast, launching lots of rockets, and it's all kind of, that's cool, but it's done kind of thing. We could put a number on it, you know, we could do 1,000,000 rockets per second. But, you know, I don't know if we'd get there or not, so there'll just come a natural stopping point. Usually there is. Especially with a vanilla thing where it's just kind of like, this is as big as it can reasonably get. Or, yeah, who knows? Could be ages, could be huge. It's an infinite world, we could just build infinitely. I'd definitely like to do, I mean, I'd like to learn more about LTN as we go, you know, numbers and the configuration of it and stuff like that, and get just happy and comfortable with it. So we will keep going until I feel more comfortable with that, for sure. And then, who knows? Is there anything else specific that I care about? Not really. Build the biggest base I've ever built. Like, I've built this big before, but not much bigger. So we're not far off doing that, just building big. Have you heard of Project Cypress? Nope, not heard of it. It's supposed to be more lightweight, more features. Interesting. Let me just give that a quick Googling. There are many things with the same name. Yeah, I can't. Got a link or anything, then let me know. What is the one I'm building there? MM53 South. Yeah, you can link. Yeah. There's no no bot that's going to hurt you for that. I spelled it wrong. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. We'll find it's fine. CyberSyn. Project CyberSyn, Logistic Train Dispatcher. Let me just bookmark that. Through cybernetic combinators, just this mod can control inputs and outputs of entire mega base. Interesting. They say it's simpler, but the first screenshot is more complicated than what we currently have. Stand there and build some more. Let's have a look. They give you blueprints to use. Helpful. Similar to LTM, but with a broader scope. Interesting. Lots of I mean, broader scope, what does that mean? Read out all deliveries in progress for station. Set request thresholds per cargo instead of the whole station. Okay. So might add a bit more, or allow a bit more complexity. Designed for multi-surface, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And then for communication between them might be easier. I mean, more lightweight might be better in general. If it does the same thing but is more lightweight, that's like a good thing anyway, regardless of anything else. As long as it's equally easy to use, I suppose. Automatic refueling at the refuel station. Good. Have them bypass, so you can do that in LTN. In theory. It's easier to use, as I think they're poking at without being too rude about it. Interesting. I'll have a proper look when, you know, later or whatever, but it's not bad. It's better for multiple networks, yeah. Yeah, LTN's capable, but from the looks of like their description of it, it might be just a bit more accessible as well. Like they're giving you a lot more information to begin with that LTN doesn't, and then clicking the buttons might make it a bit more obvious. LTN isn't intuitive at all. But if you still have to make the same decisions and same like consideration of what you want your numbers to be in your context, which I don't think they can decide for you. Still a gap of me not really understanding how things are supposed to fit together. ML 52 East. I mean, it's good functionality for multi-surface and better at separating different networks and so on is obviously a good thing for SpaceX and any similar mods. To have a, you know, a better option. If you know, don't necessarily need a train management mod. The vanilla turns out isn't awful at it. But anything that makes it easier is I guess what I would go for. Something similar to LTN but easier. Well, yeah, I think you mentioned it before actually, LTN Combinator mod. And I looked at it and it doesn't, like, I don't have a problem with the user interface thing side of it. Having a GUI is a nice to have, but it doesn't change the fact that you still have to decide what the number's going to be and put them in the right box and everything like that. You still have to understand what those numbers are doing. It doesn't tell you that, it just makes it easier to input them and copy paste them and change them and stuff like that. Which I've not really had a trouble with the just feeding a constant combinator in with the configuration. Kind of fine with that. Messy as it is, it's fine. I just, you know, I don't know what my request threshold should be. I don't know what percentage of our whatever needs to be whatever. It would be nice if you could just yeah, I don't know. What I want is to set up a production zone, have what that production zone needs be delivered fast enough, and me not have to do any math on that. Just plug my production zone into a combinator, and that'll tell the trains what to deliver and how quickly it has to be delivered. Which, yeah, not sure that's a thing really. Yeah, threshold is how big a request can or needs to be. But like, how do I know that? What, you know? Yeah, so for example, we have two different setups at the moment here. We have the active production areas. They have a threshold at 2,000 and they're trying to hold 8,000. And then we've got the depot fuel supply, which has a threshold of 2,000 and they're trying to supply 2,000. So when these chests should hold 2,000, and when they get to 0, another trainload will come in and drop off 2,000, which is a wagon full. Here, when it gets to 6,000, a trainload will come over because it has to take 2,000 at a time. That's the trigger point. And likewise, when it gets to 4,000, a second train is sent to meet the gap. So the threshold is giving us like how much is a delivery, basically. And what I've come to in this context is, well, it should be a wagon full. It's not necessarily always the right thing, I hope. Otherwise I might have over-engineered some stuff. But they should, you know, to be most space efficient, it should deliver an entire wagon full. Otherwise the journey's a slight waste of fuel. But yeah, that's the bit I don't know is right. Should it be that, or should it be less? What should the threshold be in this context, or in any context? Need to see it more, need to learn more about what it really means in order to make that decision, I guess. We've run out of poles, haven't we? Yeah, okay. Need to go back and get some more. You always want to have some extra space in the chests. 3 to 4 minimum. Extra space in the chest. Right. Yeah, don't request it to come and fill the chest, because there's always a bit of rounding up involved. Each load is always slightly bigger than what you asked for. We're missing any. There's another signal in the north I'm missing. And down here. Let's get the poles and then fill in everything we're missing. And top up on... actually, we're kind of good. Bit more rail, I guess. Anything else will last a while. Have some extra space. If we're delivering a full wagon load every delivery, we need the amount we're storing in the delivery point to be enough to last the time it takes for that wagon to get there, I think is what I'm factoring. So it's like, if the delivery time for a wagon load is a minute, you want to hold a minute's worth of goods in the chest. So your number of what you're storing in that chest should be a minute's worth of goods and a wagon load on top of that. And then your threshold is a wagon load. And everything should flow okay, but there's no way of like getting LTN to tell me how long will it take to deliver goods in. You know, as far as I have found so far, maybe it is in LTN Manager or something. So how much I should store is like, you're guessing basically, or putting a big number in, but the bigger the number, the more problems it causes. That should do us for poles, and I'll fill in the rest of my inventory with rail and we'll head back. Probably keep going for a while. Good on radars too. That'll do. Where did I park? Really want to drive further, but we are a long way out. Let me very carefully Drive along the outside where trains probably won't come. Park on the far side here. Train limits would fix that with more chest space. 2 train limit. More chest space. What if we need 3 trains in transit? So if we're delivering, let's say 2,000 per train load, and in the time it takes to deliver that to our destination point, it's consumed 10,000 of the item, you would need 5 trains in motion at that point, and the train limit in LTN would need to be 5 at the destination point. Otherwise it won't schedule the entire journey. You can't just have 5 at the collection point and 1 or 2 at the destination point, because it says you can't deliver this, so you can't be scheduled to do it. Which could be an LTN problem. Some of these other similar mods might handle that better. In the, you know, that why couldn't that train go to the collection point, gather its goods, go back to the depot, and then wait until it's allowed to deliver it to do the delivery? It's just a bit more complex, I suppose. Each stop can set that, yes, but LTN specifically looks at the smallest limit in the schedule. So you could be allowed an infinite number of trains to collect the coal, but if only 1 is allowed to deliver, then only 1 will leave the depot, regardless of how many could go collect, because only 1 can deliver. Or at least that's what I saw in the previous playthrough. We could play around with that some more and see if I'm wrong. Could be. But that's what I saw in the SpaceX playthrough. Is it only went on whatever the smallest limit was, basically. That's fine. I think it is fine. I think I vaguely understand what I'm trying to achieve, and I think we're using the numbers in the right way. It's just the fundamental bit of information that's missing is knowing that consumption rate of the goods, I guess, and the shuttle time to make the delivery. Actually, I should just double check. Are we done in the north? Are we got any pink dots in the north? Not that my eyes can see. Perfect. So that block of 9 is in place. Let's move down and do this block of 9. Each train station can set their own limit. So you set it to 2, it'll send 2. You want to pick up and send 5, and it will. If you don't want that way, it's bugged. Interesting. We'll have to try it out then. At some point. Try and get it to behave the way we want. It's interesting in that what does the train do? So say I send 5 trains to collect from A and deliver to B. A is permitted 5 trains, so they all go there to collect, but B is permitted 1 train. What do the other 4 trains do? Do they just sit at A and wait? You see, yeah. I wasn't testing it specifically, so I could be wrong. Very much could be wrong. But what I remember seeing in SpaceX is if B is set to 1 train, LTN will keep the train in the depot until B is available, and then sends it to A to get the goods, which increases the transit time. Yeah, just the depot. but it means only one train is in transit. So in my example where we're consuming 5 train loads in the time it takes to deliver a train, the destination point has to permit 5 trains as its maximum or minimum or whatever. Never needed to do that. Well, it's theoretical in that our trains have a single wagon, so they can deliver 2,000 of something that stacks in 50s, right? So, or for example, let's bring up Hellmod because this is interesting. I mean, we'll see it in practice eventually, but it's something about this run that interests me. In theory, we could do 4 blue belts in 1 square, which is 180 iron ore per second, let's say. Ore seems most likely because the stacks are small and you consume it relatively fast, but even something like mass production of, which is the one that takes 2, mass production of iron gear wheels, 2 iron plates per half second for 1 wheel. So if you wanted to make a lot of wheels per second, you'd need to deliver a lot of iron in, but you know, it stacks to 100, so it's probably better than ore. But I mean, what is this in? That doesn't help. Doesn't change the number, does it? If we want 180, we put in 180. That's the bit I see. It's 180 per second, so if it takes you 2 minutes to make a delivery, it's 21,600 copper, 21,600 iron ore. If it takes 2 minutes to make a delivery, you need to be holding 21,600 and a delivery in your delivery point, which is more than we can currently store without a modded box to hold it in, with steel chests and the ability to unload them at the proper rate and so on. I think. What have we got? 8. I did the math earlier, didn't I? It should be in the history here. That we got 19,200 is what we can store in a delivery point. So in the future, when we're doing that, if we fit 288 furnaces into a single square, we need to deliver the iron in under 2 minutes. In fact, can we work that out? We can work that out. It's 19,200 and 2,000 is a delivery load. We've got 17,200. We're consuming 180 a second. So we have 95.5 seconds to deliver the train load from it being requested to them delivering it. You can put as many chests and inserters as you need for the stop, but you need to get them away from the stop. Otherwise it'll backlog. And there's a limit to what you can do there. And what we have is not the maximum. It's not intended to be. It flows well. So this ultimately will get us 2 blue belts when the white inserters are fully upgraded and the belts are upgraded to blue. This can output 2 full blue belts. If we put in the missing 4 inserters, what would we get? Another belt? We could get 3 belts. We just need to be able to get them away from here quick enough, which we might be able to do if we redesign. But that's the most. You can't do more than 3 blue belts unless interesting. The belt doesn't matter if you use bots. Then you've just got to worry about the inserters, the 12 maximum stack inserters you can get out. Okay. there's some thought to be done there. The belt throughput doesn't matter if you use robots to move it. I mean, they have their own startup and flow issues, but you throw enough of them at it, it'll be fine. So we may end up doing that. Unload train by bot. Why did he want it out the train? But if you only have insiders, I've seen no problem with using more chests for a buffer and even better for multi-eye. More chests for a buffer, right. So at the moment we're unload to chest and then chest to belt. But if we did unload to chest, chest to chest, chest to chest, chest to belt, then our buffer size would increase by the additional chests we've put in. And therefore your delivery time can be longer. Yeah, that makes sense, very much. Your belt output is the same, so your consumption rate of 180 per second is the same. But if the delivery time takes 5 minutes, then your buffer's big enough to handle it. Just make it bigger by putting more chests in. Yes. Good idea. If it comes to that, which I doubt it will, but, you know, it's all theory work that is interesting. And we need the stack inserters to, yeah, get it out of the train fast enough for the next one to get in for the consumption rate. But that is like, you've got your 2000 in the train and you're consuming 180 seconds, so you need to unload the train in 11 seconds, which is fine. 6. The 8 stack inserters we have should be doing it faster than that. Should be, although I've not seen that in practice, so I guess we'll find out. But I mean, this stuff that we're poking at now and thinking about is why I wanted to do this run. How does LTM behave? And if you minimize your train situation and look at the fundamentals of keeping goods flowing at high rate and high throughput, when do you hit the bottleneck? You know, when do you hit the point where one wagon just isn't enough and you can't do anything to the system to improve it? And we do have that mod, better train system, which is going to add Mark IV cargo wagon with 320 slots. So when we deviate from the vanilla, we will not have any problem at all with the delivery amounts. If you try to train limit vanilla train logic system, no, but last stream Lost and Found came in and was talking about his, which is the craziest train intersections you've ever seen, but is a vanilla using the train limits to stop trains from going places kind of thing. It's the first time I've ever heard of the idea, but he said it's something that got patched in 1.1 to make it possible, and it sounds pretty cool, like the functionality and how it works. Actually really good. Yeah, I mean, that's what many people say is, you know, why do you need LTN? Vanilla's fine. You can use this new functionality to like create a depot system in vanilla. Yeah, you don't really need it. It's delivering like a minor efficiency gain on fuel consumption, which like isn't something I've ever cared about. But for whatever reason I am right now, I guess. There's a tree in the way. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, a train can do multiple jobs. It can take X to A and take Y to B, whereas typically, and in vanilla, X is taken to A and that's it. But yeah, if you get the numbers wrong, it just makes a mess. Like that's all it does. And you can build in things to tidy up that mess, you know, to like automatically tidy up that mess. You can work around it, and you can just get your numbers right and not have that problem, I suppose. But you'd need to understand the system, you know, why I want to learn it. But from the sounds of it, I ought to just spend my time learning the vanilla train system first, or more, instead of learning LTN at all. And it's not just LTN, it is also other mods like LTN will be much easier to pick up once I've learnt it a bit more. But yeah, a trash stop, or just your depot needs to empty trains, wagons when they arrive, so every depot stop needs to be capable of unloading whatever turns up and trashing it, or doing something with it. It's weird. Out of the end. I haven't named that last one we finished off, have I? Let's do that now. MM 49 West, MM 49 South, and MM 48 North, I think. I've missed a couple signals up here. I've still got them. Anything else? No, that's fine. So yeah, let's head south and then over. Follow the usual path. And this is ML48 East. Okay, cool. There's a bolt-on mod for LTN that automates trashing as well. So you can add that and create a station that is a trashing station. Any train that returns to depot with goods it shouldn't have is then sent immediately to the trashing station. But like, that's kind of not the point, you know? Like, you can add another mod to get rid of that problem, but you could also just not add either mod in the first place, and therefore not have the problem. Just handle your logistics differently. Don't need the mod. Oh, you could just within LTN you can get it to do it, or you know, like I said, just do it at the depot. What is that? MM 48 West. Trash then depot. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. Or depot is trash, but yeah, put them. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. So, you know, again, my preference is just get the numbers right to begin with, which is the purpose of learning it a bit more. But I would not be surprised if my conclusion at the end of this run is like, let's just not bother with LTN in the future and handle trains differently, you know, in the more direct manner. A train does a job. Then I wouldn't need the automatic train painter either, because that's only needed when they do multiple jobs. We're almost to the 2-hour mark. I might finish this corner before we wrap up today, just to kind of keep it vaguely neat, and then we'll do the eastern edge in the next one. Vague plan. MM48 South. You're even using multi-item stops. Hopefully not, but probably. There will be at least one, because you need one for satellites. We need one for satellites, I think. Because I'm putting intermediates onto the trains, we might not need them in that a few items in, a few out is fine. Can even do that without mods. Yeah, just multiple trains, it's fine. We could do it in this context without mods. So we're unloading here, we're unloading 2 belts of iron ore, but before that point it's 4 half belts of whatever was taken off here. So as long as these 2 filter stack inserters take the same thing, it's all good. So yeah, we can just change the filters on these stack inserters to allow up to 4 different items, but only up to half a belt of each as it stands. So if we wanted 2 different items, we could have a blue belt of each, and if we wanted 4, we can do half belt, and then that depends on, you know, your consumption rate. If we're producing science packs and we need 0.03 of a belt of iron, then yeah, we can easily unload multiple different things here, or have multiple different things go there. But even so, it does depend on that like throughput rate of what we need. And if that square is producing, I mean, green chips, for example, it's taking in 2 things, iron plate and copper cable. They can go to 2 different stations, and in they go. The rates are different on them, so that might change it. You might do half a station of iron plate and 1.5 stations of copper cable, potentially. Obviously the unloading speed is slowed down in that way, which is when you're sticking to the vanilla approach, it's like that. If we had a big chest, that the wagon was unloaded into a single big chest, then you could filter coming out of that chest, so the train wagon would be unloaded quicker into the chest because it's just everything into it, and then out of the chest onto the belt can be filtered instead, which you know, it would be better, but vanilla doesn't have that. And that's how I did it in SpaceX, was with the big warehouse building and the loaders out of everything, which much faster. What did I say? What did I say when? Missed some in the north there. What I just said. The unloading speed from the wagon to the chest is slowed down if we do multiple different items at the same station. So, simple point, but to illustrate. If we're unloading with one item with 8 inserters, we have 8 inserters of speed coming out. If half of these are doing one item and half are doing a different item, so that the station can handle 2 different items, then that's half of the unloading speed. The train will be sat here for twice the time. If you have a single chest, so instead of 4 individual ones here, we had a modded chest that is 1, then we don't need to filter from the wagon to the chest, we filter from the chest to the belt, and then we'd unload the wagon faster. Yeah, exactly. Unload into the same one and sort it after the point, which is harder to do with a 1x1 vanilla chest than it is with a 6x6 modded warehouse, or a 6x1, you know, the one that joins the chests together when they're adjacent, or whatever it is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get better chests. It can't be done in the vanilla way, which initially this is a close to vanilla run, but is likely to hit a throughput issue there at some point. And if that's like something I conclude in this concept is you want modded chests, then, you know, that's a nice conclusion to have. You want modded chests. Just takes more space. Yeah, you can also, I'm not entirely sure on how you do it and the details of it, but you can somehow, probably needs to be wider than that, right? Or closer? How do you do it? Is it on the diagonal? I can't remember. You can go from wagon to wagon and then sort it out the wagon. So when you unload your trains, you do it into a stationary wagon. And then that's your like big warehouse building type thing. Because it, you know, it's physically bigger than a 1x1. So it can be done. Takes a bit more space, obviously. But yeah, I don't know how you do the spacing, obviously, because the rail is 2 apart, but an inserter wants it to be 1 apart. So I'm not entirely sure how you do it, but there is a way, I'm sure. I've seen it or heard of it or something. Rid of all these trees that have survived marking somehow. Awkward there, do that in a minute. What is that one? ML47 east, there we go. Oh, and that one MM47 north. Good, I think. Bit more of this square to do. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. A fully upgraded stack inserter should be good enough. It will depend on what we're trying to build. I'm not sure what the biggest issue is going to be there. Because making something like copper cable, where we want lots of it, but it's dead simple. You just put copper plate in, copper cable out. So the stations for that aren't, I don't think, going to have any real trouble. Just whatever the maximum throughput is we can get out of our designed station, there you go. I'm more concerned with, like the satellite, which needs 6 inputs, but we don't need so many of them, so the throughput might be fine because we're just not trying to make a lot in any given space. Might be a bit weird. There might be a few of our like production zones, squares in the grid that are just like 5 assembly machines and a whole ton of belts feeding them. Look a bit weird, but the throughput won't have an issue, then there you go. Many squares doing a little bit each or something. Won't know till we get there and build it. What is that one? MM46 North. That is MM47 South. It's got one more to put in. Have I got enough of everything? Bit low on rail, but that's probably enough to finish this square off. Seems good. Pink dot in the middle. Okay, you got that. Good. Any other pink dots around that we've done? Seems fine. Looked good as we went. A couple little bits in the one north of us. Head northward and fix them and then fill in the poles in the middle here. A few more trees as well that aren't marked. Took the rail with it. Oops. Seems good. There is MM47 west. That's all good. There's some on that side as well. Good there, all good there. Just the poles in the middle and the little bits I missed up there. But we need to go up to get back to the car anyway, so let's do the poles down here first and get these trees out. Few more for them there. Is that everything down here? Looks like I don't see any. Hard to tell with the stone there, but it looks fine there. I mean, we built that earlier, so should be fine. Those edges all good. A bit on the left up there that we're heading for now. Almost there then. Me and my power poles, yep. I will never abandon it. I doubt. It's nice, it's easy to organise things and structure them and divide your numbers out nicely. Even if it does take forever to get them all placed. We're good on that front. So just that edge to do to finish the 3x3 blocks we've got depots for. When we build that, I will put together a blueprint that is the whole 3x3 block, make it easier to place the depots without overlapping stuff that doesn't want to be overlapped. And then we can block in entire giant chunks as we move out further. Which will be good. And hopefully soon get to doing some chemical work as well, petrol, here in the grid. Mustn't forget steel. And everything else. But that's future plans. Of course, we are way over our allotted time for this. Maybe drop a save in. Oh, and the where are we? Stream 6 end save. And wrap everything up. Oh, actually one last look. I'm very happy with what we got done today. Look at that. Big old base of squares. We built a lot of squares. And done the smelting for those things we were mining up last time. So we got copper plate, iron plate and stone brick. Some of it being made, enough to start doing whatever with when we start doing something, it's that's good. And yeah, factory must grow. It's a very good start. We do have a long way to go. We want to get, we'll probably put the missing bit of this bigger square in and use that to do something with the oil from here, refine it, create some products from it. We'll do another block to the east to get this uranium in. Once we've got the sulfuric acid to get that, then we can maybe do some nuclear power, which not really played with much before. We want to head further north to get this big chunk of iron connected up, and then we can make some steel using that, hopefully. Let's see what else we can connect, what else we uncover as we expand. more iron and more copper will be needed, definitely. And then start making intermediate products, start turning them into something, move everything we're doing in the starter base into the grid, and then rip that out. Seems good. Very happy with that progress, actually, yeah. And thank you very much for joining me while we did that. Of course, those of you lurking on Twitch, thank you. Those of you who came for a little chat, appreciate that very much, thank you. And everyone catching on YouTube as well, thank you very much for the support so far. Pretty good, you know, I'm not overly bothered too much about it, but numbers look lovely. The feedback that people are giving, much appreciated. Do continue to click the like, the subscribe, leave any comments you have. Bad ones are welcome too. If you have feedback, I appreciate it. But you know, so far positive. The main important thing is I'm having a lot of fun building this, so we will keep building it, at least until I stop having fun, of course. But it's going well. We'll be back for more of this on Sunday. All being well, no more emergencies cropping up. We'll do another Sunday, 4 PM BST, a few more hours building this and continuing with those things we just talked about. Of course, do join us if you can.